Challenges are everywhere, but have you done any of these challenges? I'm Aaron, and this is ToCing Points. So what's up, everybody, and welcome to ToCing Points here on Triforce of Chaos. Today's episode, we'll be talking about the non-official or homemade game challenges. Those are challenges that weren't put into a game, but instead players came up with to kind of make their games more fun, or to basically, once they beat the game, to see just how good they were at a game, or to, challenge their friends to see if they could do something like this. So, some of the challenges, which we'll talk about today, also allow gamers to get together in competitions or charity events to raise money for different little charities and, special groups that needed help. We'll talk about those as well. And with all that being said, let's get talking. So, we know that there are a lot of challenges out there that the games actually include, but here are the one, there are a few out there that gamers came up with just to see how well they knew their games. Speedruns and warp runs really were kind of the first ones to get their attention and get gamers out there to see all this, and then there were, it challenged the gamer to see where all the special shortcuts, glitches, and all that were. They can help them beat the game quicker or get to the ending quicker. A lot of them started testing it out, and next thing you know, we had people beating Mario at like 3 or 4 minutes, 5 minutes at the most. It started taking root in that community, in the old retro games. Next thing you know, people were doing 100% runs as well, which, that's kind of the traditional challenge. Almost everybody wants to do a 100% run, find all the secrets, find all the hidden stuff. It was one of those challenges where it forced the gamer to learn where everything was, learn the maps, learn all what constituted a hidden item, what constituted a 100% run. So a lot of people got into these games to figure out how to do this. Well, then also came along the boss rushes, or the boss battle challenges, in which players would go out and fight all the bosses from the game to see just how quickly they could get that done. A lot of people jumped into these later on, or jumped into these more recently, and have been jumping into them, here and there, just to show how skilled they are at taking on this boss with either A, limited resources, or B, as quickly as possible. It's similar to a speed run almost, except you're going at it with the bosses. Which, trust me, some of those can be very interesting to watch. Challenges that, after we go through and see where challengers know their knowledge of the game, we see a lot of gamers that are testing their skill with these challenges as well. No damage challenges are one of the more popular ones that are on YouTube videos and even done in some of these competitions. The no damage, players of fighting and hardcore RPG games. And by hardcore, I mean RPG games that are very brutal and just unforgiving with their enemy strength. Looking at you, Dark Souls. I played that game one time and I hated it so much, I almost broke a controller. So I'm kind of staying away from that. People tell me all the time, get Bloodborne. No. Not for me. Maybe it might be for me if I have a group, because you can play it online together. But, players cannot take damage during their playthrough. If they take damage, then it's considered they didn't complete the challenge, therefore they have to quit. But games like Mortal Kombat even have a no challenge mode, or no damage mode, where you have to basically knock out your opponent before he can land anything on you. Dark Souls and Bloodborne. I watched a Bloodborne no damage challenge. This guy really took that game and made it look like it was easy, and it's not an easy game. Bloodborne is tough as hell. Other challenges out there that players use to test their skill are Nuzlocke challenges, which the Nuzlocke challenge, if you aren't familiar, is more geared towards Pokemon, in which the player the player cannot let his Pokemon faint, and if he does, he has to basically either release that Pokemon or send it to the storage for permanent storage. In other words, that Pokemon is considered dead. So, pretty much, it challenges you as a Pokemon trainer and gamer to be pretty much, how do I put this? It challenges you to basically focus on making sure your Pokemon, treating them like they're real animals and making sure that they're well taken care of and well trained and properly built for this battle. Even though I don't, take my dogs out to fight or cats or the guinea pigs or anything like that. It really tests to see how well seasoned you are as a Pokemon gamer. Other challenges that test gamers' skill that really make me, question my gaming ability and make me want to turn in my G card, G card being my gamer card, is the blindfold challenge. That one right there, I enjoy watching people do this thing because, they're just like so muscle memory controlled in playing this game, and watching them do this is, it's impressive. I've never seen anybody just basically take a controller in their hand or take a Game Boy in their hand and go through any game and just know where to go automatically. Me, I have to be able to look at that screen to see where I'm going, or else I will be running in circles or running into a wall the whole time. Never does well for me. So, hats off to these guys. They really do a great job. Then you have the challenges out there that make games interesting. The only one type of weapon challenge, that one gets kind of tough for me because certain people, like if you're playing in an online game and you're going up against someone who may be using like refined sniper rifles at long distance, well, now you take that out of the game and they can only use rocket launchers throughout the match. That gets kind of tough for me. That's it's a simple it's simple to do, but you gotta do it right so you don't take damage. Then there's the no kill challenges. That's also another one. Players take on the game without killing anything or anyone. So basically, no enemies, no mobs, nothing like that can be harmed. Except for bosses. If there are bosses in the game, they have to be killed. Unfortunately. That's just the way gaming works. But, a lot of people go into these games and think, well, how can I do this and do this effectively without, ruining this experience for me? So they learn to play around those enemies and dodge those enemies and, not really worry about the experience points if they're good enough gamers. One shot, one kills. That's again going back to your first person shooters. One shot, one kills, that takes a lot of skill because, you've got to be able to hit a moving target, right here in the domo. Yeah, you heard that here, right here in the domo. And make that kill without wasting too much ammo. And, if you don't do it, then automatically you failed your challenge. Fan-made levels. Now, this gears more towards stuff like Mario Maker and other games where they let the fans build the game itself. Fan-made levels tend to be hell. A lot of people out there are sadists. They complete the challenge themselves, but they knew how to complete the challenge, so it wasn't like it was ultra difficult for them. It really kind of gives the gamer that's playing these levels made for them a chance to see just how good they are at this game. I've never done any. I've done a few of the fan-made levels for AGDQ and SGDQ and all the stuff Josh put us through. Some people are just real assholes when it comes to this kind of stuff because they make games that are just. They make levels that are just. They want you to just pluck your eyeballs out and just say you're done at the end of it. But even though we have all these challenges out there, a lot of people have been using them for good lately. And by saying that, I'm going to say that the game's done quick. Sorry, I'm a little stopped up. My allergies have been kicking back in since I got back home. It's getting used to the humidity again and all that. It's got me all stopped up. So anyway, games done quick, which are a set of competitions, which are AGDQ, SGDQ. There may be another one out there. Josh keeps up with that. I'm more or less more interested in extralife.org, which I'll talk about in a second. But the GDQ competitions are competitions that focus on any charity event or any charity group that they can pick out of a random group. They'll usually it's like Doctors Without Borders or other big charities out there that are really trying to do some good in the world. A lot of players get together, do speed runs, blindfold runs, no kills, backwards running. I mean, all these odd little challenges that are out there, and they do this all for charity. They don't do this for themselves. They don't do it for the glory. They do it for raising that money and making sure that the money's made for, you know, say, the Ronald McDonald House or anything like that. ExtraLife.org, another great charity out there that raises money for player, you know, gaming events. A lot of people think, well, what does ExtraLife.org do? I've never heard of ExtraLife.org. Well, ExtraLife.org basically focuses on the Children's Miracle Network and the hospitals that are associated with it. We did a 24-hour event last year, which that's what Extra Life usually does, is a 24-hour Let's Play. They are... It's a hard challenge to get done, but once you get it done, you just feel so proud of yourself. You know, you feel so proud that you've been able to help somebody. You feel wonderful about it. And a lot of gamers will do challenges like speedrunning and 100% completion and all these other challenges. Me and Josh did a few speedruns. We did 100% challenge on certain games. We had a great time doing it. And it really makes the gamer feel like they're doing something to help the world out. So, you know, ExtraLife.org, Games Done Quick, and then there are other groups out there like St. Jude's Quick Play, or I can't remember, or Let's Play. Anyway, St. Jude's got one as well. I can't remember the name of it, and that's terrible of me because I sat down and wrote it down, and all of a sudden it seems like I've lost it in my script here. So, anyway, that's pretty much it for that part of the show. So we'll move on to our talking points now. Last week we asked you, the viewers, what is your favorite unofficial or homemade game challenge? We got no answers this week. Kind of disappointing to me, you know, because I like to hear what you have to say, and I understand that, you know, we usually ask the viewers on Facebook to answer, but because of the issues with Facebook and with Twitter and all of our answers just getting lost in the unknown void of the internet, we had to move back to using the comments section here on YouTube. So if you're going to answer, please answer below, because that actually does not only help us out in the video, but we get your answers. So anyway, we'll move on to the Teamsters now, you know, since Josh likes the word Teamsters. I think he likes it. So Josh says speedruns, obviously. Josh is a big fan of speedruns. You know, during our break, we'll sit down and watch speedruns sometimes, and I mean, we're just, both of us have our jaws wide open. We're trying to eat our lunch and, you know, at the same time having to move our jaw because we're just in awe of, you know, move our jaw. I didn't mean to make it look like I was, you know, yeah, never mind. So, you know, for me, I like the blindfold challenges or the 2-player 1-controller challenges. Those are pretty awesome to me because watching 2 players use 1 controller to get through a game, it really shows that teamwork and camaraderie are there, you know, for these events and for those challenges. So that's it for that. This week we want to know, what is your favorite crossover comic? Now, again, crossover comic means any comic where comic series villain or hero comes in and goes up against, or joins up with, pairs up with, does whatever with comic book character number 2. For instance, we've got, you know, Judge Dredd versus, let's see, Alien, for instance. That was a good crossover. I mean, the Alien has actually been in a lot of crossovers. But for me, I'd have to go with one of the original crossovers for, you know, sci-fi horror nerds like me, which is AVP. AVP really was one of the first crossovers that I remember getting into as a kid. AVP, if you don't know, is Alien versus Predator. It was written by Dark Horse Comics, and I mean, it spanned a good 2 decades, you know, 80s, 90s, and slowly started dying off in the 2000s, but now it's kind of picking up with Prometheus coming out. It's starting to get that resurgence and a new Predator movie coming. So it was so awesome because it spawned movies, games, books, action figures. I mean, a whole line of just different things. There was even arcade games that came out back in the 80s and 90s based on that comic book series alone. It combined both of Fox's huge IPs that have been around for 20, 30 years now. And I mean, both of them are great sci-fi monsters that I enjoy watching. So, you know, it was kind of awesome to see both of my favorite fandoms in these comics. I got into the comics later on because I was young whenever they came out. So finding them and reading them and enjoying them and reading the books that came from them, it's so awesome to see all this. Movies, they were okay, you know. I'm not gonna say anything bad about an Alien or Predator movie because I'm just that big of a fan that I can sit through the flaws, you know. But like I said, we're still getting that influence even in the Prometheus comics now. I think they had a Predator come in on one of them, so that tells you that Dark Horse or Fox or whoever's working on them now is really trying to keep that AVP AVP brand alive. Well, that's it for today's episode. Make sure you comment below with your fancer, by the way. But that's it for today's episode. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Check out our merch shop. We have some awesome items on there, including a Broforce shirt, which just was made about a few weeks back, and it's pretty awesome. I would have wore it today, but it's still in the wash. Yeah, I've been lazy since getting back from vacation. Yeah. But anyway, thanks for watching, and also stay tuned as we go to Low Country Gigatoshu Con on July 23rd, right in the city of Walterboro, South Carolina. We'll be hosting the Thundercade for that, so it'd be kind of awesome to, you know, well, by hosting I mean we'll be the ones, you know, narrating the events or not narrating, but, you know, announcing the events and all that fun stuff for Thundercade. So make sure you stay tuned in. If you can make it out there, come out and meet us. We'll be glad to, you know, shake hands with you, talk with you, all that fun stuff. Anyway, thanks for watching, and as always, keep talking.
If you want to subscribe and check out all of our other videos, make sure that you click Spartan Lock. And if you want to see some other random video from Triforce of Chaos, click on the Master Chief.